Hello. So today I'm going to be making egg loaf, and my ingredients are room temperature, and I have half a stick of butter, a full thing of cream cheese, the original, 8 eggs, and then I have my cinnamon, my vanilla, my Pyure, salt, and of course no salt for the potassium. And those are the ingredients for egg loaf. So I'm going to start first with creaming up the cream cheese. So give me just a second. And I forgot to show you, this is a bigger casserole dish than I usually do. I usually do my square 8x8. That's the one I prefer. But this is the one that's available today. And of course I have the oven already set at 350 preheating. And for those of you that don't know, this is parchment paper in here. The cream cheese is in, and I'm going to whip it up. I wiped some of the extra cream cheese from the package on here. My cream cheese is whipped, so now I'm going to add in the butter and whip that in. There's a quarter stick of butter, half stick, sorry, 4 tablespoons, and I'm going to whip it in with the cream cheese. So the butter and the cream cheese are now whipped together. I'm going to add the eggs in now. There are 8 eggs, the whole egg, minus the shells, of course. So there's 8 beautiful eggs in there, and now I'm going to combine this. So that is what it looks like with the cream cheese, the butter, and the 8 eggs combined together. Now I will be moving on to the smaller portions of things to add in. I will start with the vanilla, which will be a half a teaspoon, the cinnamon, half a teaspoon, the no salt, 1/4 teaspoon, salt, 1/4 teaspoon, and the Pyure, which is just an organic stevia blend, but it's just stevia and erythritol. There is no dextrose, maltodextrose, or anything like that. You don't want baking blends. You just want like combined stevia and erythritol. So, and that'll be 1/8 cup of sweetener. Last time I made it, I didn't put any sweetener in, and it was fine. With whipped cream, it was great. It was actually fine. It was a little bit more savory without the sweetener, so that is an option too if you don't want to do sweetener at all. It's still yummy. So that's what it looks like before I blend in all of the cinnamon, vanilla, the Pyure, that's the sweetener, the salt, and the potassium. Okay, and it is completely mixed together. As you see, there's lots of bubbles. I like to aerate it really well, and as you can see, there's no lumps. That's best. If you have a few tiny lumps because humidity is different or something like that. When I was traveling and making it, I would end up with some lumps because I didn't have the whiskers. I had the other ones, the 4-pronged beater thing. So I had larger lumps of cream cheese in there. It turned out okay, so don't freak out. It still tasted good, and the cheese melted just beautifully. So now I'm just going to simply pour this into the parchment paper lined dish. I usually use an 8x10, but I have to use a more rectangular one today. So hold on one second. Okay, so I poured the mixture in, the egg loaf mixture in here, and it is going to be a little bit thinner, this one, because of the bigger pan or dish, but that's okay. Now I'm going to move it to the oven just like this. The oven is heated already to 350, and I will set a timer for about 40 minutes and check it and see if it's how I like it. The longer you cook it, the more bread-like it is. The less time you cook it, the more custard-like it is. So it just depends on your preferred texture for the egg loaf. And I'm gonna try it for 40 minutes with this pan. I usually do 50 minutes or so for the 8x8. So I've had this in the oven. I changed my mind and switched to 35 minutes instead of 40. And I'm glad I did, because you see there's like a little crack in there. So I think this is going to be perfectly done for me. I'm simply just going to lift the parchment paper right out of the dish so it doesn't continue baking, and then just let it cool. Once it cools, I will slice it down the middle, and then a slice here, and then a slice down the middle. I will have 8 slices, and each slice will equal 1 carbohydrate because there were 8 eggs, and 1 slice will equal 1 egg, so that gives me 1 carbohydrate, and lots of fat, obviously, from the butter and the cream cheese, and that's it. Voila. So and there's a good amount of protein in there too because of the eggs as well, and the cheese. But that is egg loaf, and it's that simple and all done.